All right. Here we go. Okay. So this is gonna be the first time that we're gonna do like an interview like this. Hopefully going to do some more, but this is like the first installment of Shrieking Owl Interviews. We wanted to do the first one to like start talking a little bit about the Tempest, so that not only like people that are going to go watch it have an idea of what's happening, but definitely so that folks that are going to audition have a good idea of what the vision for the show is.
Yeah. And I think part of why I wanted to do it is to give us opportunity to talk a little bit about our artistic sensibilities and like the aesthetics that we like, because that's just naturally going to play into how we're co-directing and then just our individual directing styles also.
Definitely. Do you have a question that you want to go with first? Or?
I mean, I think like I am curious if you ever envisioned yourself being so entrenched in theater in general, but in a theater company.
Not even a little bit, honestly. Like, I don't think I ever imagined being in, like, theater at all. Not because I didn't like it, but because I think, I don't think I was, like, ever exposed to, like, a company like this. Not that the stuff that you had done before wasn't, like, cool, but I think what we're doing is just so different, and, like, there's so many different disciplines and, like, mediums that are, like, being focused on, and I think that's really, really exciting. And also the collaborative nature of it, too. I don't think I ever understood just how much everyone collaborates with one another, even outside of the actors themselves, but the creative team, me and Kyle having worked on like music and stuff for it too, like that's been a lot of fun. So I think that opened my eyes to just how cool of an experience it could be to collaborate on something like that.
Yeah.
I think like the first experience being Macbeth was so cool too, because it wasn't like we were stepping into like an established kind of thing. We were like not only building the show, but building, like, Shrieking Owl also as we were going along with it. But I think a lot of people are, like, familiar with, like, that aesthetic of Macbeth, and I think because it started out as that, like, inaugural, like, volume 1 of Shrieking Owl, that's associated with it as a company.
Yeah.
How do you think you distinguish the Tempest and, like, that kind of darkness and eeriness from the darkness and eeriness of Macbeth?
Yeah, I think the reason it is distinct is because that's not the first thing you think of when you think of the Tempest. Like, there is darkness in the Tempest, but that's not... I don't know, I don't think that's the predisposed idea that people will have thinking about the Tempest. I think the Tempest is more similar. Like, if we're going to compare it to another one of Shakespeare's works, I think it's closer to, like, A Midsummer Night's Dream than it is to a Macbeth.
Right.
But I think that's the coolest part about working in public domain is you're able to pluck out what you like and what you want to lean into and then sort of go away from maybe what the text suggests or wants. And then with Romeo and Juliet, that was like such a big step away from the aesthetics of Macbeth. And there were things that sort of were an undercurrent in Romeo and Juliet that were more similar to Macbeth, like the Romeo death. And, I think I'm always leaning more towards that as an aesthetic than I am anything else.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think talking about maybe some similarities to Romeo and Juliet too, or every single one of the shows that we've done so far, we attack like so many conflicting characters and especially protagonists being like super complicated, and you don't really get to necessarily like root for them or not like them, because like even Macbeth, it's like it's kind of like that Dexter thing of like you don't want him to kill any more people, but it's just so crazy to like see, like it's like this fantastical thing that you see. So what kind of intrigues you about those kinds of complicated characters, and I think like you lean into the conflicting nature of them, and like why is that so exciting for you? Why do you keep attacking characters like that?
Yeah, I think it goes back to the things that inform my aesthetics, like loving horror always. And like when you watch a scary movie, I think, at least for me, there is a part of me that's like, you want the bad guy to get away with it. Like I think that's something we talk about all the time is like leaving a scary movie and at the end being like, yeah, it was good, but like I kind of wish it would have ended like this. Like, I think that totally plays into it. And then I think a part of it is like humans are more complicated than just good or bad. And I think that's the most exciting part to me about theater, is that it is like, for me, the most human medium.
Yeah, I mean, I think also that doing the trailers sets like the company apart too. Like, I even try to look at like the professional, like super professional, either theater companies or like venues and stuff, and I really think that our trailers are not like comparable, but I think it's just like it sets us apart. Like it definitely makes us distinct among other companies. What do you think also is something that you'd point out as something that doesn't even have to be distinct necessarily, but something that you think speaks to like the core of Shrieking Owl? Or
I definitely think, I mean, we always say like this is a family operation. Like the fact that it really is familial, and not even just that, but like pulling our people, like we call our family like our tribe, and like we really do pull in that to be a part of this, even if they don't know a lick of anything about theater. I mean, really, like at the start of this, I was the only one with any kind of theater experience, but like pulling you in, pulling Kyle in, pulling Mom in, Tyler, Ken, like the people who were the genesis, like didn't have any theater experience, but were just doing it out of like love for us, and being there for us. And I think that the fact that we've grown passion in people for this medium is so, it's different. And then also just like the things that inform us in the company, I think are different. Like the fact that filmmaking is entrenched in both projects that we've done now, and that like our trailers are not snippets of the show, but just things that we're like, well, this speaks to what the show feels like to us, is different and unique. And then that like you mentioned earlier, there's so many mediums that go into it. I think that makes us different, and it's what is exciting for me is like in looking at the script, I'm implementing my background in writing into cutting and reordering the script, and then that we bring music in, and like I was in costume design in high school, and now that's being implemented. Like all of these different things, all of our different niches and talents get poured into it, not because it's something that we're just trying to like tick off and like, all right, let's just get another show done. Like we only do one show a season because we're like pouring everything into it.
Everything super intentional, everything super hyper focused on intricate details. I think with the music too, like that is something that like a lot of people talk about afterwards, you know, hearing it, knowing that it's like something that's original, that's like different. It's not like, it isn't even something that you in your head are like, this is what I imagine hearing in this scene. It's like that, it like you would think that takes you out of it, but like I think that me and Kyle are so hyper focused on the like the feeling, you know, it's really, it's not like technical, it's not formal in any way. It's just based off like our feelings. So when we're experimenting with stuff, we're doing it simply from your explanation of a scene or us seeing it and then being like, okay, what's our interpretation through the music? And that's what's so cool about it too, is because I think as a company and pulling in all these people from outside, it's like you are getting like your first interpretation of a play sometimes. Like, I've never seen The Tempest. Yeah. So me seeing whatever adaptations now and going into it kind of blind, everyone kind of has that too. Like, Tyler had that too. I mean, I'm sure he's seen Romeo and Juliet, but like in your kind of vision, it's like, okay, I'm just going to do what I think through my eyes, and then all of it coming together is what makes that ultimate project. So like with the music especially, I think that's why that is so distinct, is it's coming from us, not from a place of trying to replicate anything, but trying to make something truly original through our eyes and through our ears. Like, I think that really sets Shrieking Owl apart in a lot of ways. And
thinking about music, like another thing I wanted to ask you, a few years ago when you made How Little We Matter, I remember that like something that you were pushing against was something very polished or like technically perfect.
Sure.
And you were opting more for like something experimental or something grittier, and that really inspires me. And I think that's something you continue to carry in your work as a sensibility. So like maybe speak to how that informs Shrieking Owl, how that will inform The Tempest.
Yeah, I think definitely based on what I was saying earlier too about everyone attacking it from their own perspective. Like, seeing Tyler too, like, he's not like a formally trained photographer, but he's utilizing literally a camera with a malfunction, like, to create these like incredibly beautiful images. And that is so inspiring to me. It's like that when you're able to do that, it's just the coolest thing ever, I think. And that's kind of the whole point of like that How Little We Matter project, or literally anything else that I make from this point on, is like doing the best that I can with what I have, at my disposal. It's like, we don't need to get this like crazy expensive setup to do something really cool. And I think that is also a part that informs Shrieking Owl, because I want people to come into the space, it being like it starting to form like a collective. You can step into any medium that you want, and it's like you can make something way cooler than someone with a ton of experience or teaching, because you're so raw. Like, it's genuinely you. A lot of people can do things that are like formal or technical, and like it's replicating the sound that people associate with professional and like professional interpretations of something. But for you to attack something without any background knowledge of what it's supposed to look like, you can make something that's so much more beautiful, in my opinion. Like, that's also just my taste. It's like, even with music, like something that feels like it's been touched or manipulated by 20 other producers or engineers, it's like those things can be cool, but I definitely feel more connected to something if I feel like the artist was like the only person to like put anything onto recording. And so with Shrieking Owl, it's the exact same thing. It's like when we have all of these eyes that are only have like, it's from their own perspective, and you see that through like an audience's perspective as well. I think that's what makes it so not interactive, but immersive. Like, you are totally immersed into what our vision of the show is, and you wouldn't see it anywhere else. Like, you just simply wouldn't see this show in another production company, because also, like, no one has, like, Tyler's camera. Like, no one has that camera. So I just think all of that is just so cool. It's like all those imperfections, all those things that aren't exactly perfect, like, technically perfect, are perfect to me, because that's the rawness and the beauty of all those mediums.
Totally. When I think about Macbeth, like, I think you at the Q&A asked me, like, is there anything you would have wanted to do differently, or like were there things that you imagined that just didn't happen? And my answer was no. Like, of course, would have been awesome to have $20,000 as a budget. Would it have been cool to have like a professional seamstress and like X, Y, and Z? I guess, but like when I think about Macbeth and the things that were like accidental or malfunctions, like I just look back and like I have so much pride for what our final product was, because it was raw and it was gritty, but it was like, it was ours.
No,
like,
for sure.
And that's just like the coolest thing, I think, that and it's not like, that's not to say that anything that we did was like thrown together. Like it was so
intentional. Every
little move that we made was so intentional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that definitely sums up Shrieking Owl, like, as a company, like, the familial aspect, the rawness, and the intentionality of everyone's contribution, for sure.
Yeah, and being desert-based. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Like, that was another thing I wanted to talk about, was, like, I mean, we've lived here for almost 20 years. Mm-hmm. I know that in all of my work, the desert is present. Like it permeates everything that I do because we're so entrenched in it. And like even looking at our trailers, like both of our trailers feature desert geography. Yeah. One, out of accessibility, but also like it just captures the feeling that I'm trying to create. And so like I wondered too if you could speak to the ways that like the desert informed you, whether it's like the literal landscape or like the sensibility of being in this place.
That's so insane because I don't think that was something that I thought about.
Really?
It's definitely not at the front of my mind, but I think subconsciously I'm thinking I have access to a beautiful sunset. Yeah. Like if I want to shoot the sunset, I'm like, I'm just going to wait for the sun to start setting and we'll capture something insane because like it's just a given.
Yeah.
So I think that that's part of me being like, I've never known anything other than that.
Yeah.
And like, that's so crazy that, because I've actually never thought about that before, but wow.
Yeah.
Definitely thinking about the sunset, definitely thinking about like, if we want to shoot a flat dirt space, which so much of like what we're doing is like, it's like those liminal spaces or spaces where even like the openness creating that eeriness.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even thinking about like the Tempest and like not to give too much away in terms of what we're like thinking about and like character design, but like I mean, we're doing this nautical play, but I'm thinking about like dryness and like cracked and like like we're thinking about clay and not mud, but like dried mud. Like I think you're right that it's like totally subconscious, but it's something that like we just implement aesthetically naturally. It just comes. Yeah.
No, totally. That's so funny. I never even thought about like that irony either. Like the fact that it is this like nautical play, this based on like a shipwreck. Like that's literally the first thing that you'll see.
Yeah.
And then it's like we're thinking about all this like clay and like dryness. And, that's really interesting because that is so much. I mean, I guess not to give too much of it away, but like so much of our inspo is like very
I mean, like I'm just like thinking about the things that we're referencing. Like I think one of our biggest pieces of reference is Dune.
Yeah, that's
that's so ironic and like tension, but I think that speaks to the way that we implement tension also.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and contrast. I think contrast is huge in every single decision that we make, even if it's just visually. When you think about the things that we're like putting out, it's like the high contrast black and white, or lighting wise what we do with contrast, textures that are on stage, and then also tonally our decisions also have a lot of contrast.
Right. Like even like working with comedy and like Romeo and Juliet, and like those were definitely like those comedic points are like intentional, but like we even dove into like some parts that like aren't like written to be comedic, but like those parts just naturally come up into that.
Yeah.
But then like contrasted with the devastation of that story too, it's like that, like it hits so much harder because I think that we built up that sort of like lighthearted, comfortable space to then dive into like these isolating points, these like being exiled, falling in love and like losing that, and like all of that devastation. It's just like so cool for that contrast. Did you want to talk about like more about the Tempest, like aesthetic wise, or like
without giving too much away, what is like one thing that you're the most excited about for the Tempest? Because I know what I'm the most excited about for sure, but what is one thing you're super excited about?
Oh man, that I'm most excited about. I really think that focusing and like navigating Prospero and Caliban's relationship. Obviously that's like it's even like controversial, you know? I think our perspectives and like our lenses are gonna allow us to navigate it in a way where we are like making commentary, we are putting something together where like people really have to think about that relationship. Because I really want to like handle obviously everything with care, but especially like that topic, their conflict between each other, and just also like both of those characters individually, like looking at both of their complexities, like, and navigating that, casting people for that'll be great. And working with them also to like collaborate, because I know, especially diving into filmmaking and like just kind of starting to like collaborate with someone that's gonna be the subject that I have a vision for. It's like it may not be exactly what I think or imagine, but part of what's cool about theater too is that your collaboration with that person on stage becomes something different than what you what you imagine, because you also do like their role, and in casting someone will be, I trust you with handling this with your own perspective and your own lens. So I'm excited to collaborate with actors on those parts as well. What about you?
It's Caliban and Ariel.
Sure.
I think. I think people are going to be really surprised in the way that we take Ariel. Because when you think about Ariel, like, to go back to thinking about Midsummer Night's Dream, like, you think of Puck. But with Ariel, like, we have such a distinct and specific idea with what we want to do with that character that I think speaks more to the sensibilities and the relationship that we want to implement with Prospero and Caliban. And, like, maybe that's something that I hope the people who are wanting to audition take away from this conversation, is, like, to get rid of predisposed ideas that they might have about these characters. And come in really open-minded and think about like what our aesthetic sensibilities are, the things that we both value the most. And I'm excited to start like putting that out too, like the things that are inspiring us, the things that we're watching and reading. And I think that's another thing that like is interesting and about both of our processes is like we love movies, and so like when we talk about our creative language with one another, like, I think that is the thing that we're referencing the most, is other movies and directors and shots. And maybe it's not even a whole movie, but it'll be like, dude, I really like this literal one image from this one movie.
For sure. I'm excited
too, dude. 1 month, we're a month away.
Oh my god,
so
1 month away from auditions.
Yep.
That's so exciting.
That's so exciting.
Fire.
Cool.
Alright, that's cool. I think that's perfect. We got a lot of really good stuff, I